in Save the Internet News, submitted by Billy Bob Joe.
Hey, who'd have won that one?
What's happening over there?
I hope.
Because we can see ourselves on the screen, so I'm just going like this.
I just started joining in. I just copied it.
It looks like your arm is fighting the other arm. Net neutrality is being threatened again and will be voted on in less than 2 weeks.
I'm glad we're talking about this shit, because we need to talk about shit like this. It's so importante.
What is net neutrality?
It has to do with tuna fishing, and I have no idea.
Okay, so before I get into this, all of you viewers, I encourage you guys to do your own research on this topic because this is a very complicated issue.
I've been reading about it this whole week and some, and it's gonna be really easy for you to probably miss some points because it's a fuck ton of material.
It's very complicated, just so you guys know, okay?
Give us a breakdown.
But the breakdown is breakdown.
So net neutrality, the definition of it is the principle that internet service providers, aka ISPs, should enable access to all content and applications regardless of the source and without favoring or blocking particular products or websites. So that's what net neutrality means.
I see.
So the FCC has recently announced plans to dismantle net neutrality.
What the hell?
So between 2005 and 2012, there have been 5 failed attempts at passing a bill like this, right? But then finally in 2014, President Obama recommended the FCC to reclassify broadband internet service as a telecommunications service, which basically makes it a utility, the same as electricity or water. And so the FCC agreed, and then by June of 2015, this rule went into effect, and it classified broadband as Title II communication service, which then allows heavier regulations than its previous Title I classification. So earlier this year, the newly appointed FCC chairman named Ajit Pai.
Oh, everybody hates him right now.
Yeah, he's really hated right now. So he proposed the end to net neutrality. He wants internet to go back to being Title I service. And so throughout the whole summer, the agency was flooded with over 20 million comments urging them to preserve net neutrality. But a vote will be held on December 14th by the FCC members to see whether or not we'll still keep it or it'll be gone.
I just saw this meme of that guy, and it's a slow transition from a dookie to his face.
So, for people who are for net neutrality,
It's companies. People aren't for net neutrality. It's corporations that are for it because they could charge more money.
Oh, okay.
No, they're for getting rid of it.
Getting rid of it. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
Exactly.
Who is for getting rid of net neutrality, and what is the reasons for it?
Mainly cable companies.
So first I'll explain why people support net neutrality, and then I'll get into why people are against it. So the people that support it are typically liberals, and so what they're saying is that getting rid of net neutrality would mean that ISPs, internet service providers, like Comcast, Verizon, AT&T, they will have free reign to throttle speeds, block websites, and carve up the internet into a slow and fast lanes. So they'll get to be able to pick and choose which sites you can access. So it wouldn't be like a free open space anymore. And so they're saying that the net neutrality rules are set in place for a reason because ISPs have been previously guilty of attempting to do all these things, which is block and all that.
But it's been illegal? It's been illegal when they try to do that?
No, it's because it was open previously. When it was a Title I, they were doing that. And so because now it is classified as a Title II, they can't get away with that, and it's illegal to do things like that, like blocking certain websites or favoring certain companies. For example, AT&T.
Oh, okay. I got you, my bad.
Yeah, so for example, AT&T had previously tried to block Apple users from accessing FaceTime. So things like that.
Because Bart's been swatting that fucking fly, and now David's trying to swatting that damn fly. We're trying to have this serious damn conversation, you fucking fly. Get away.
It's like a fruit fly too, so you guys can't even see it. It's
We're trying to learn about serious shit right now about net neutrality and fucking fly.
So Tiff, you were saying AT&T tried to block Apple?
FaceTimers.
Oh,
Yeah.
FaceTimers.
Yeah, they tried to block Apple users from using FaceTime and things like that. Like, that's just not fair, right? And so also people that support net neutrality, they don't like the idea that ISPs would be allowed to bundle the internet up. Kind of like with cable right now, how you can buy like basic cable and we would be buying like basic internet or basic internet speeds if this would be gone, right? So then the internet providers would have the opportunity at that point to bundle up certain websites and stuff like this. This is an example. So, for example, here, if you want to access Google or any of these things, you have to pay an extra $5.
Oh, I see.
If you want to access certain websites, then you're gonna have to buy that particular bundle.
It's like cable where like that one cord that plugs into your house already offers like thousands of channels, but they want to be able to charge you more. So they're just telling you it's gonna be $20 a month, but if you want those channels, it's another $5, another $5. But it's like, but all those channels already coming through this cord, right?
Exactly. So that's why a lot of
I
people
see.
are heavily against this because they're like, I don't want to pay extra just because I want to watch YouTube. So that's the people supporting it.
Oh, I see. Damn, those money-hungry motherfuckers, but they're so smart.
You know, it's also whack too because like cable companies, there's only like one or two choices. Cause you know they have each region and it's kind of like all divided and shit.
Yeah.
So
And so also, they're also saying, supporters are saying that internet has become a necessity in our modern lives, and they believe that allowing corporations who mainly care about profits to control the internet would be very unfair. And
Yeah,
so-
fuck that. I don't like what I saw right now.
Yeah.
anything that makes me pay more, I don't like.
Yeah, and so removing net neutrality opens the door for censorship, and so, and then it could also like block competition and just
Sounds
hinder-
like China to me.
Yeah.
And the biggest part that pisses me off is I feel that my porn streaming is gonna be threatened by this thing.
Yeah.
That's my biggest fear, is no more free porn.
Yeah. No, you're gonna have to pay extra.
I don't like
So
that.
much more crime in the streets. Because now you have all these dudes that are all pent up.
So when it was proposed, what was the reason why they proposed it? Like, is it like, oh, we only have this much in the bank, and you know, because we're like filtering and streaming so much now, that all this bank is, not that it works that way, but you know, this reserve or whatever, we're running dry. You know
It
what
is
I
though.
mean?
It's kind of like just bandwidth.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, but what was the reason? Do we know why he proposed it?
Ajit?
Yeah.
To propose it back to Title
Class one,
One?
yeah.
Well, it's because, okay, so then I'll go into people who support net neutrality.
Yeah.
So the people that oppose, they argue that they don't need government-run internet, right? That the companies can just make their own decisions. So it wouldn't be in the hands of the government, it'd be in the hands of the companies. And so the supporter or the opposers are saying that you could just let the market decide what they want. So for example, if a gamer wants to pay a little extra to have extra fast speeds for the necessity of the gaming, then he can do that. And we don't all have to be on the same level. They're also saying that the internet was fine before 2015 and it'll be fine after the repeal. And that net neutrality will still be upheld by a competitive market, pressure from the media, and the watchful eye of the FTC. Because as of right now, the FCC, they're the ones that are controlling the whole net neutrality thing. But then if it goes back to Title I, then the FTC will be controlling it instead of the FCC, which then will give more liberty to companies to do whatever they want. And so no one wants broadband providers blocking or throttling traffic, and the ISPs have made legally enforceable promises to not do these things, is what they're saying. But the FTC has broad powers to protect consumers from harmful or deceptive practices. So once the FTC takes over again to
They're not
Title
gonna
I,
let it happen.
then they're saying, you know, like, we're not gonna let these bad things happen that the companies are doing. But the thing, like, the reason why people are against the FTC having control again is because they're really slow to really prevent anything. They don't do anything until something's happened, like the whole AT&T thing.
That's like if you fart and then you fan it away.
Yeah, that's what the FTC does.
You should have fucking went over there and farted, but you
good
fart
visual.
and then you fucking fan
See, I
it.
tell you, nobody likes that. You can't fart like that.
Yeah, but that's the FTC though. The FTC is
FTC right
the
here.
FTC is letting the FCC fart, and then they're fanning it away. But that doesn't help because people still smell the fart.
Right?
No, but I'm in the middle.
All right, FTC.
No, I throw the fart now like a curveball.
Yeah, and then they're also,
FTC.
the opposers,
Fart throwing curve.
You want to start with me right now, David?
No, I just really wanted to make that joke because it just popped in my head. It was really
I throw it into the astral flat.
There you go.
Yeah, and so opposers are also saying that true net neutrality can never be achieved anyways because there's multiple factors affecting delivery speeds and there's regulations that don't ensure equality.
If you want faster cable, just get fucking fiber optics or some shit, something like that one, or the
Some
T,
shit,
or the T,
or some
T
shit.
with T3, T2, T1, Terminator 1. Fuck, man.
What's wrong with
Yeah,
the way
man.
the internet is right now? I like it.
Well, see, what's wrong with the internet right now is what these opposers are saying is that taxes and regulations under Title II make it harder for smaller internet service providers to compete. People don't have the choice for faster speeds on websites they actually prefer to use or that they use more often, going back to that gamer example. And then they
Also, if this is in play, right? Like let's say you have you buy the YouTube one, then all your bandwidth will be maximized for YouTube, and YouTube will be hella fast for you compared to. Like,
That's what they're trying to say.
I see.
Exactly.
But there's negatives that can potentially happen too.
Yeah.
Censorship.
I mean, it's
Censorship.
fine the way it is right now.
I like it the way it is now.
Except for my shit keeps cutting out. I don't know why.
So like one example from this reporter who writes for the Washington Post, she said, quote, "To use one of those dreaded analogies, if you are constantly driving huge trucks full of big deliveries of pornography, let's say, along a road, why shouldn't you have to pay more for the road's upkeep?" So they're saying like, why shouldn't you be charged a little more for using services that take up a ton of bandwidth,
I see.
like YouTube and porn? Yeah.
I can see both sides.
So right now, people that are trying to save net neutrality, what they can do is they can email or directly call your representatives in Congress to stop the FCC.
Can we just meet in the middle? Like, can one person say, hey, how about the bandwidth? Do this one. This is what we're really worried about. It goes, okay, as long as you don't block my porn, okay, we can go. Like, why can't they just figure that shit
Why is that
out?
old man watching porn?
Old people could watch porn too. I seen porn where it's like fucking grandma fucking. I don't want to.
You watch the weirdest
No, I don't want to. Trust me, I don't want to watch it.
It just happens.
I don't want to watch.
kind of nuts?
I have to stop just clicking shit. That's what happened when I thought it was two pretty girls. I clicked it, and
You
then
do porn roulette, dude. You can't do porn roulette. You know what I mean? You don't know what's in that chamber, dude.
I saw this one where there's a girl with a strap on, and I thought another girl was gonna come in the room, but it was another guy that came in the room, and she gave it to him, and I was like, why did that just happen?
She gave it to him.
Give it to me.
Yeah, well, what are you guys' thoughts on this whole thing though? Because there are like these two sides. Because me personally,
I like the way things are now.
But what if this?
Yeah.
So I like the way things are now too. I agree, but also like listening to their viewpoints. Let's say the reason why. So what's the speed of internet you have at your house?
The fastest one possible. I don't remember what it is.
So you have the fastest one. We do too, right? So like, let's say you get the 100 megabytes a second, and you're paying $100 a month for that. But what if the reason you're paying for that is because there's a ton of people in your entire area that are going on sites that you don't ever go on, and that's it's hogging up all the bandwidth. So you're paying $100 a month to technically get only 10 megabytes a second. When if you could just pay $10 a month on the other one, because now you're never gonna go to the sites that your whole block is going on. You know what I mean? Like, cause we have the same thing where we have 100 megabytes a second, and sometimes when I go on a site, it's still slow as fuck, and I'm like, wait, how do we upgrade our internet and get so fucking slow? And it's because you're sharing that entire bandwidth, just like how you're sharing the water line with their. Yeah, with all the houses, it's because everyone might be taking a shower at the same time. But if I have my own streamlined thing, I only want to go YouTube or this or whatever, then maybe it could lower the price down to $10, and now the sites that I go on daily, I can go on hella fast.
but then the problem with that too is like we can't control what the internet service providers would be controlling, which is like, what if we?
Because they might bundle it weird, right?
Or not even that, but what if they're just like, you can't access our competitor? Like you can't even look at their website, or like it's like hindering you. It's like
let's
it's like China.
Like so let's say like Time Warner's like, well, we got YouTube, and then now Charter's like, we got Facebook. So now you're like, oh fuck, what do I do? I'm stuck in the middle.
So you gotta get both.
Son of a bitch. That's the fucking.
Yeah, I tell you this though.
I just be on my phone.
I mean, did you guys see a difference before 2015 and after 2015 with your internet?
What do you mean?
That's when net neutrality was set in, right? In 2015. That's when it became Title II.
You know what I like? I like Korea. That shit's free and it's fast as fuck.
And you got Wi-Fi everywhere.
Yeah, you could be on the fucking street and get Wi-Fi.
And it's so strong. But that's because they made their country internet ready since 1990 or something. They already prepping for the future.
How come fucking Ajit isn't trying to propose some shit like that? Is that his name?
Ajit, yeah.
I think it's because the U.S. is like older. And it's hard because Austin, since they haven't had everything built in yet, they get fiber.
Oh yeah.
But we don't get that.
I'll tell you this, I don't know shit.
I do like the way it is now, though.
I see nothing wrong with the way it is now.
If you like it the way it is now, then hit up your congressman to like not vote against.
Who's our congressman?
I don't know. It depends where you live.
It might be a congresswoman.
Artie Malone.
Artie Malone, Jill Brown, and Condoleezza Rice.
Condoleezza Rice, huh?
Yeah, but if you
Dianne
do want
Feinstein.
them to get rid of net neutrality, just sit back and kick it, because there's nothing to do.
No, I think I like net neutrality.